Hi guys, it's Alexa and I'm back for another Thursday edition of The Lit Ladies. This week we're talking about swoony romances in books, and now that you've heard Raquel, Audrey, and Sharon share theirs, it is my turn today. So I decided to share 14 of my favorite swoony romances, 7 YA and 7 adult, and I hope that you guys either agree with me or decide to check out the books because of all the swoon that I'm going to mention today. Okay, let's go with YA first. My first pick is Sam and Anna from the Incarnate series. I just love their relationship. I think the fact that Sam sees past the fact that Anna is a new soul is amazing, and I love that Anna feels cherished and valued when it comes to Sam. Okay, next we have Wolf and Scarlet from Scarlet by Marissa Mayer, and oh my gosh, I am obsessed with that series, but Wolf and Scarlet are my favorite just because they have such a interesting dynamic to their relationship. They're both very strong personalities, so it's kind of interesting to see them mesh, and I just love them. Okay, next we have Percy and Annabeth from the Percy Jackson series, and I have to say that I think that this is the one pairing that my husband would probably agree with because I remind him of Annabeth and he reminds me of Percy. They just fit together really well. I mean, since book one, it's been fairly obvious, and I love them. Perkabeth. Okay, and then we have a relatively new couple that I swoon over, and it's Beast and Sabella from Dark Triumph by Robin Lefevers. I binge read both Grave Mercy and Dark Triumph a few weekends ago, and I loved it. I loved Beast and Sabella mostly because they're both such damaged people, but they still manage to find something about each other that convinces them that they're worth it, they're worth loving, they're worth saving, and that, their chemistry is so good. Okay, and the next one is actually an oldie but a goodie. It's Alana and George from the Song of the Lioness Quartet. Their relationship is just so perfect. I was always rooting for George. I do like Jonathan, but George is definitely my favorite person when it comes to like who would fit better with Alana. So okay, and then the next couple is also a new discovery for me, and it's Eliza and Hector from the Fire and Thorn series by Ray Carson. Oh my gosh, you guys, their chemistry is literally the kind that just flies off the page with every word, and I am completely in love with the idea of the two of them being together. I love that their relationship kind of starts slow and develops slow, and then it becomes this beautiful, beautiful thing by the time the Bitter Kingdom rolls around. So yes, if you have not read that series, you should definitely check it out. And last, of course, if you guys have been following my blog, I'm sure you know who I'm going to mention next. It's Kale and Selena from the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Okay guys, I don't really need to explain this one because I gush about Kale all the time, but I will say that it is incredible how much I swooned over them in the second book in that series, Crown of Midnight. And now I'm going to talk about my 7 adult choices. Okay, predictably enough, there are 2 Lisa Kleypas couples. The first one happens to be my all-time favorite, who are Sebastian and Evie from Devil in Winter. I just love that historical romance, you guys. It is so well written, for one thing, and just the way that those two fit together is so perfect. I'm going to say that about every single couple, but for these two, it's unexpected, but it's true. Okay, next is my other Lisa Kleypas pick, which is Hardy and Haven from Blue Eyed Devil. Predictable, isn't it? But it's really hard to resist them. They're just so... Oh, now I kind of just want to reread it again. The next is actually a couple that I encountered at the beginning of my romance reading. It's Broderick and Jillian from Ransom, and oh my gosh, I just love their relationship. It was sort of like a fairy tale, I think, and I think that's what drew me to it so much, but I love that they both have such, strength to them and such courage, and just the way they love each other, even though they kind of fought and would never admit it. The next couple I would pick is Anthony and Kate. I am cheating, actually, because I kind of want to say all the Bridgerton siblings, but Anthony and Kate, for sure, their story is just so cute. I think it's also really unusual, and I kind of laughed at like some of the things that happened in it, but it's just so cute, guys, really. The whole series actually is pretty fantastic. Okay, next is a relatively new discovery, a book that I read thanks to Raquel. It is Felix and Louisa from The Luckiest Lady in London. Oh my gosh, guys. The banter between these two is just hilarious. I was reading this book and it was just a lot of different things, mostly because these two are both frustrating, but also you can't help but feel for them, and you just find all these things that they say, especially Louisa, hilarious. And then another historical romance couple that I would definitely, recommend to everyone is a book that got pushed on me by Sharon and Raquel, and it is Alex and Genevieve from What I Did for a Juke. Because you guys, that ending, that's pretty much all I can say about this book. There's just something about the way that it all works out for these two that just gets me every single time. Okay, my last couple that I'm going to mention for adult romances is actually from a paranormal series. I don't normally read a lot of paranormal romance, especially adult, but my sister convinced me that I should give the series a try, and I'm glad she did because I fell in love with Wrath and Beth. Yeah, I love these two. Wrath is actually a king, so yeah, there's that. And Beth is just freaking awesome. Like, she has to deal with a lot of changes in her life, but she does it so well. And the two of them just work so well together. I love it. So yes, guys, those are all the couples that have made me swoon. I have a lot more, if I'm being honest, but I decided to try and keep it to 14 just so that you guys don't get too overwhelmed. If you want more suggestions from me, you can always feel free to tweet me or to check out the blog, because I do mention most of the time in my reviews when I swoon over people or couples in books. Yes, guys, belated Happy Valentine's Day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Tune in again in 2 weeks for the next Lit Ladies. Bye!